Everybody, welcome to this day trading workshop. Today is May 8th, and in this video, I want to introduce you to a micro trading algo that I have worked on and developed, and it may be useful to you. I find it to be pretty accurate and really easy to trust the signals that are on it. It's a micro trading strategy, and micro trading is basically day trading. You're using smaller time frames like what we use. I've taken off all of our other moving averages and I've added these. They're basically the 14, 20, and 50 moving average. I do still have the 200 in here, but these are based on a different calculation for time framing. Okay, and then we have this little cloud here, which is a red to green, and then you can still see the red to green candle movements. And what I have done is I've given an audio ring alert for when the candles turn red to green. Okay, so, but you have to double check and make sure it's going to make sense. Okay, and we'll talk about that, but this is kind of simple and it works really well. So this one is IMRN, and I posted this around 5:30 this morning, and that was right in this range. Okay, let me zoom out so you can kind of look at that 5:30, what it was doing. First thing I want to mention to you is, yes, it did hit a target here, and it was coming down into the moving average zone. All right, when you start to have price hit these lines, right, these moving averages, again, these are based on a slightly different calculation than what you have with your current moving averages, your 50, your 9, your 20, that kind of thing. These are a little different because they're multi-time frame based. And the reason that's important is a lot of traders will trade on different time frames. A lot of traders do not like the 1 minute time frame, which is what we use, but you get a lot of opportunities when you're on the 1 minute. So that's why as a day trader, I like to focus on the 1 minute, but it can be tricky unless you've got the right tools. So anyway, once you're down into the moving averages, it's probably not going to set up again. It's going to get tangled. It's finding a lot of resistance in there, some chop and stuff. It's going to be hard to get out of that zone. Okay. And as you can see, this one, it just got caught in that mess and it really didn't set up again. It may, but it's just going to take a little while for it to do that. So we move on. You can keep it on your watch list, but you're not going to stay hyper focused on it. You'll just wait for something else. INPX was the next one that I put a trade plan out for, and I did that around 6:15, which was right in here. It had already hit a target right here, and it came down into these moving averages. All right, so now that, as you can see, it became hard to get out of that. So I watched it because there was nothing else to go, as well as I had the other one on here watching it because there was really nothing else to watch. So I continued to watch it, but it just didn't set up. This helps you filter out chop and bad trade. That's why I kind of like this algo that I've put together for you. So the next one was BLCM. Posted this at around 7:15 this morning, which was right here. Okay, it was right at a target, and it was sort of dealing with this previous high. I mean, you could scalp to the previous high, but here it started to get right at opening bell. It started to get into this. It touched off on this moving average and then pushed up to that next level, and then then it sold off into the moving averages. So, this is tricky. Opening bell is a really risky time to trade. The reason that worked out was it was holding above the moving average, and it just gave it one more push, and then it sold down. So within this trade system, right, you have this little cloud. It gives you little entries, red to green entries, just like we've used before. Okay, so when you get a red to green, it's going to ring, and it's going to give you the opportunity. You could have got in here, but you would have had to have a pretty good risk tolerance. Could have got in here and then rode that one out and then stayed with it to the target. So getting in around $1.15 and then taking it to that 128 level. Your risk tolerance would have had to be in this white line. It dipped a little below that, but it was a tricky one. I'm not going to lie, that was a tricky one. OKYO was the next one I posted a trade plan for at around 7:55 this morning, and that was right here. We have a nice trend up, so we're just going to stay with it to the targets, right? As long as you have this nice green cloud, stay with it. Didn't really give you an entry though if you're looking for a red to green and this thing was halting. Okay, this stock had news. It was a nano float, which means you're going to be dealing with a lot of halts. This one really didn't give any entries, so it just wasn't an easy one to work with. It made some targets, but it just was hard to trade. Okay, nano floats are always hard to trade. It did have some news. It hit the target and then it was done. It started to sell down. The first cautionary level you're going to look at when it's selling down is this red cloud. Okay, you're looking for that red to green. Here we had it would have alerted you right here. Okay, would have alerted you right there, but you're starting to dip into these moving averages, so it's probably not going to set up and work out, right? Have a nice signal above that top one, and then you're off to go. But this one, it just never looked good after that. Weight Watchers, I think we missed that. Unless you were swinging it, it moved kind of quickly here to the $10 target. It's a swing, so I really wasn't focused on it. I know you guys really aren't swinging. The next one is TRVN. Okay, that one I posted at 8:15 this morning. Okay, so we're in this little green cloud. We're looking for a red to green. Okay, that's the best thing to do. Not necessarily chase these green clouds, because usually you'll get a nice pullback. Here we have a red to green, so getting in here, that's what I did. Getting in at $1.83. It was a little bumpy right here. My stop was this low tail right here of 168. A 20-cent risk. I was going to be careful through this dash line. This was a cautionary that I mentioned to you guys, and I was going to try to hit this level, and I did. Okay, this was that $2.30. Then at that point, yeah, it's probably going to push through there because I'm conservative with my targets. I always am. I want to make sure I get filled in strength, okay? So it continued to push up, gave us a red to green entry. Here's a nice little doji. It's telling you, hey, you're probably going to be able to trade this thing. This is the stop loss, or you can use the doji tail. I got in here at $2.35. I was just going to take it to the next line at $2.80, and that was a nice 50-cent trade right there, and it traded very nicely to that level. Again, once it hit that level, we had a red move, and then we started to get into these moving averages, right? Let me zoom out. Price sold down into the moving averages, and now it's pretty much done. It's going to take a little while for it to show support in that and then push up, but it's looking like it may continue and give us a nice setup again here. TRVN. So then it was ACOR at 9 o'clock this morning, which was right back here. So let's go to 9 o'clock. Again, I made a note here. Enter on the red to green signal above the moving average. This is the moving average, these solid, not this little cloud looking thing, this little green cloud, that's just showing a nice trend, right? The signal you're looking for are the red to green in that green cloud, okay? So we had a red to green in the green cloud right here, getting in here at 85 cents. I hate this price range, but whatever. This is a target, 94. I actually got out a little above that at 95. So that was a 10-cent trade on a really cheap stock, and it had really good volume. Here was another red to green, getting in at 96 cents, so just above that previous target, 96 cents. Kind of watch through these little levels, these lines that I give you. Just watch for, if you want to watch for a red to green or you want to hit the main target. 118 was the main target I had in mind, and look what it did. It pushed a little through that, and then it came back down. And now what is it doing? This is a main target. This is a daily target. Once it hit that, it sold down into the moving averages. Let's zoom out and see what it's doing now. Came down into the first moving average, the second moving average, and it's below. So I don't know if it's really going to do much at this point. If we look at TRVN, just to get an idea of, is something going to set up after it's hit those moving average? The little green cloud needs to get above the moving averages, okay? And everything needs to be green. All these moving averages need to be green like they were back here. And your little green cloud, see this green cloud that I mentioned, the trending cloud? It needs to be above. And everything's compressing now. So it may, I don't know, it may do that. It may give us a little setup. So that's what you're watching for. After price hits the moving average zone, you need your cloud to get above the top green, and they all need to be green for a signal there. So that's kind of what you're looking for here. This may work, it might not, I don't know. I'm not going to try to predict, but those are things you look for. Okay, and that's basically all we did today, and that's the setup. That's how this algo that I've created for you, that's how that works. And hopefully, if you want to try this, just kind of message me, let me know, and I will send this link to you so you can work with this. Again, it changes your charts quite a bit. Is a really good algo. I think it's my best one yet. So again, if you want to try it out, let me know. I'll send you the link, and if you have any questions, let me know. We'll talk soon.